Lots of people ask the question of how do I get to know my guide, and how do I get to know what they're called and who they are and why they're working with me. There's lots of ways that you can do that. I mean, firstly, sometimes people will never really know the true identity of them, and that's because as long as they are aware of their presence, the identification is really a physical need from us here as developing mediums, as human beings. So they don't necessarily need a label. That's what we put on them. But there is something that people can give some consideration to, and something that they can look to enhance if that's an aspect of their mediumship that they really want to strengthen. And they can actually keep a diary, and that might sound a bit strange, but it's a diary that allows them to see progression. And they can sit and just allow themselves to become aware of their own energy, and to sit in the power. As I said before, it's about sitting in the stillness of themselves. And once they start to develop that ability to ask in their mind for their guide or whoever is working with them for that moment in time, because sometimes people change, then they will start to feel someone close to them, but not necessarily know who it is. And if they were to continue to do this as often as they are able to or they want to, and to make notes, so they can ask them to come forward, they can ask them just to blend into that space with them, just so that they get a sense of them. And initially it will just be a feeling. But the more and more that they start to communicate, so that it becomes almost like a conversation, what they could then do is then write, each time they sit for that experience, is to make a note of it in a diary, how they felt, maybe what they asked, and what they felt the response was to the question. Slowly what they will see and what they will find is, initially they'll be like, maybe just only 0.5% is the spirit world and the rest is their own mind. And that's natural. But over a period of time, the more that they start to sit in that space, the more that they start to communicate, the more that it starts to feel like a conversation, they'll be able to see that there will be a pattern that starts to form, and we don't notice it until we document it, and that's why it's a good idea to keep a diary or a notepad. And slowly they will start to realise that as they look back, that more and more of the spirit world are coming in, and more of them are moving out the way. Sometimes we don't feel that we're progressing with things, so if we're able to document it like that and just keep our own personal notes, it just helps us to understand how we are moving forward, even if it doesn't feel like it's shifting very much initially. And then it just helps people see what's happening, and maybe they will notice the change through terminology that's used. Maybe there's the sense and the feeling of whoever is working with them becomes so much greater. Maybe they will start to then get a sense of their appearance, get a sense of why they are working with them, and it should then form to a point that they're really able to have almost like this friendship, this communication that becomes just an easy conversation, and almost a friendship that forms.